Friends, I, Captain Vivek Jain, welcome you all to my 11th episode. In our earlier discussions, I have described in detail the salient features of a balance sheet and profit and loss account. In order to analyze your business so that you may be able to choose a good one for investing and buying its equity shares, I would remind you again to study both these statements carefully. You can easily get both these financial statements online from various websites and also from the individual company's website. The study of several companies will make you more and more familiarized with the relevant figures and understand the difference of quality by comparison. Like I said earlier too, buying equity shares of any company is similar to owning or part owning the business with your hard-earned money at stake. Now, since you can participate in any business of your choice without actually setting up the infrastructure for it, without bothering to manufacture or produce, without going into the hassles of marketing the products or advertising or selling in order to get profits, you are saving a whole lot of those activities because the professionals within the company are doing it for you. Therefore, the least you can do is spend some time, study the statements we have discussed, balance sheet, profit and loss account, and then embark upon the business or businesses of your choice by merely purchasing those equity shares conveniently available in the stock market. I will repeat my earlier advice here. No one else will earn for you. You will have to earn for yourself. And in equity shares to profit, it is as simple as to study the two statements carefully. Having said all that till now, friends, I shall now discuss and explain in detail the various elements known as financial ratios. Yes, ratios is what it is called, and these ratios are extracted from the balance sheet and the profit and loss account. For your convenience, I would like to describe them in detail over here. Ratios are also given readily in most of the websites with company financial statements. Only you have to grasp its relevance and message, which you can only if you know about it. And that is what I shall explain here today. So I start my presentation with the popular financial ratios. Friends, I shall select very common ones, which are simple to understand and will give you a good perspective of the company's financial quality and also a comparative method to gauge if the equity share price prevailing in the stock market is fully priced, overpriced, or underpriced. So let us get started now. The first one is the investment valuation ratio. There are a couple of them. These ratios can be used to estimate the attractiveness of a potential or existing investment and get an idea of its valuation. The first one I would like to discuss is EPS. The full form is earnings per share. Earnings per share is a company's net profit divided by the number of equity shares it has outstanding. A small example, a company with an equity share capital of say 5 crore of rupees, face value being 1, that means there are 5 crore shares of 1 rupee each at the inception of the company. Now it declares a net profit of 10 crore rupees. Now, like I said, EPS is net profit divided by number of shares. So net profit being rupees 10 crores, number of shares being rupees 5 crores of 1 rupee each. So 2 rupees is the EPS. That is, every share in the company has earned 2 rupees. This EPS indicates how much money a company makes for each share and is widely used for gauging a company's profitability. A higher EPS indicates more value because investors will pay more for a company with higher profits. Next comes price earnings ratio. popularly called as PE ratio. This is best known of the investment valuation indicators because it is connected with EPS. It is most widely used by professionals and investing public. Formula is very simple. PE ratio is equal to share price divided by the EPS. If we bring the EPS of the previous example 2 rupees and we assume the share price of the company is 20 rupees in the market, so rupees 20 divided by 2 becomes 10. So 10 is the PE ratio prevailing of this company at the present market price. How that is, in other words, how many times a share is priced than its EPS. Historically, the average PE ratio for the broad market has been around 15. If it is below 15, we assume it is underpriced. If it is above 15, we tend to assume it is overpriced. It is not absolute a fixed rule, but we will understand in the coming few more episodes what is the relevance of it. This PE ratio can fluctuate significantly depending on the economic and market conditions and also vary among different companies and industries. Just a small example, there are some industries, for example, fast moving consumer good or pharmaceutical, where the PE ratios may be more or less persistently higher than 15. And there are some industries like power industry where the PE ratio may be well below 15. So this, with experience, we will assign a common PE ratio, a PE ratio with full well-priced share in due course of time. Book value. In simple terms, book value can be said to be the net asset value of a company. That is total assets minus intangible assets. Intangible assets are consisting of the goodwill of the company, the patents of the company, something which you cannot touch. And also from the total assets we subtract liabilities. The book value of a company is the difference between that company's total assets and total liabilities. This reflects the company's assets that shareholders of that company would receive if the company were to be liquidated. In the balance sheet, normally total shareholders fund is shown as original equity capital plus the reserves and surplus which has been accumulated over the years. This total figure reflects the appreciation of the equity capital over the years, and this is what indicates the net asset value, or popularly known as book value of an equity share. And small example here again, a shareholder originally invested 1 lakh of rupees for 1 lakh shares of face value 1 rupee each. At this point, the holder's book value is 1 rupee since it is at the inception we are assuming. Say after a few years, 1 lakh shares with reserves and surplus is totaling in the balance sheet to 5 lakh rupees. So the new book value for these 1 lakh shares becomes 5 rupees. So the capital appreciation from 1 rupee at the time of investing, and today it has become 5 times. If the company were to be liquidated, this shareholder would stand to receive 5 lakh of rupees from his original investment of 1 lakh rupees. Then we come to price to book value ratio. This is related to book value. This is a valuation ratio used by investors which compares the stock's price, which is the market value, to its book value, that is shareholders' total equity funds. The price to book value ratio is expressed as a multiple, that is how many times a company's stock is trading compared to the company's book value. And this is an indication of how much shareholders are paying for the net assets of a company. Are they paying same as book value? Are they paying less than book value? Or are they paying more than book value? An example here, the price book value ratio is, as we said, market price divided by book value. So if the market price is 10 rupees and the book value is 5 rupees, then the ratio is 2. That means when we are buying the share at 10 rupees of market price, with the book value of the share being 5 rupees, we are paying double the book value. This ratio also indicates if a share is overpriced or underpriced in the market. And in our subsequent discussions, we will also give you a clear indication from our experiences as to what sort of book value one must go for, depending upon the industry again. Friends, there are several other important ratios showing a whole lot of information about the company, which we shall indeed discuss in our forthcoming episodes. Till then, please do study the financials of few companies, balance sheet, profit and loss account, and practically verify the ratios that we have discussed today. Friends, if you have found this discussion knowledgeable, please subscribe to this channel in case you have not done so, which will ensure all my episodes appearing on your screen in good time. Do post your valued comments in the space provided along with queries if any, and I shall reply to all of them. See you again soon, friends. Have a nice day.